Hello, YouTube. So this is my, third video. Gotta love it, man. I don't ever know what I'm gonna say or do. I said hello, Facebook, on the last one. Man, ain't life great? Sometimes. All the time. God is good, and life is great. Every day. Doesn't matter what the situation is. Take it as it comes. Make it a learning lesson. You know. Ain't no sweat. Ain't no skin off my back. So here I sit in Virginia, right by Roanoke at the Loves. They're gonna start grilling some stuff at 5 o'clock, man. I might have to go get me some grilling food. I went and grabbed Arby's up here at this new Loves across from the Pilot. It's fairly new. It's not super new, but it's new enough. I was gonna head to the Pilot, but that place. I didn't want to fight the parking because, you know, I pulled in there to fuel up because I'm making a heavy run tomorrow, and they always make you heavy, so I wanted to make sure I had a full tank of gas. Because I'm sorry, I know some people are like, well, go in light. I will not go in light because I am not gonna fill up every 30 miles. Not 30 miles, but you know, it's a 600-mile run, guys. I'm not doing that. If it ain't weighed properly, then you're gonna take some product off the trailer, or you're gonna give me a VNU and get me somewhere else, or I have to get me somewhere else, which would kind of suck because I got my last load picked out. I'm headed home on Friday. Hopefully I'll make my drop Friday. I'll have just enough time to get there. I've been running on recaps, and I know I keep bouncing back and forth on, but I'm not going to do that anymore. Not right now. Once I get out, the Monday after that, I'm going to book it and just run until my 70 is up, and then do a reset, and then do it again. Because I can't. This recap stuff is killing me, man. I've seen it drop, and I'm sure it has to do with because I'm not used to running this yet, and it'll get easier once I get used to booking loads. But Labor Day holiday. So yesterday was Labor Day. I was gonna post one of those videos yesterday, and changed my mind. But my revenue was low. And next week's not too bad. Next week I'm booking next week, Tuesday through Friday this week, I'm booking like $1.55 a mile, but it's 4 days, so it's not enough. It's like 2,900 miles. I don't know. Last week was crap. I mean, I struggled. I literally struggled. I got like $1.19 a mile or so, $1.20 out of that run. I dropped at Kroger yesterday. I said a customer name. So, you know the deal about grocery people taking forever. And yeah, well, these guys took, it's supposed to be 4 hours, and they took 6. Man, I'll tell you what. Grocery people. If you see something that says 3 hours, don't do it, man. Unless you got a reason to. I had a reason to. I mean, I had to redo a spreadsheet that Big Rig sent me. He sent me a copy of his spreadsheet, and I don't use Excel because right now I'm not paying for a program that I barely use. And, you know, after a while, Microsoft makes you pay for their stuff if you use their whole suite of Office stuff, and I don't know if I'm going to use it all or not, but OpenOffice is free, and it almost all translates perfectly. They're almost 100% cross-compatible, except in some of the formulas. So the simple formulas, they are. The more complicated formulas, you have what I did while I was sitting there waiting. Needless to say, I got done with that before they got done loading me. But I got he's got a nice little spreadsheet. It has weekly, monthly, and quarterly and annual. And I finished the weekly and the quarterly in the spreadsheet. I have to fix the quarterly and the annual, and we'll see how well the spreadsheet works. It's looking good. I mean, it's giving me a good idea of what I'm going to make for year after a year and after a quarter and so on. So it's actually working out fairly decent. And I know previously I said I had a radiator leak, a possible radiator leak. I was losing antifreeze somewhere, wasn't sure where. It wasn't getting in the oil, no cracked heads, no busted head gaskets or anything like that. Any of y'all that know anything about cars and stuff, it wasn't anything serious. So, I mean, if you're losing fluid and your oil looks, I mean, immediately check your oil. And if that looks creamy, boy, shut that truck down. Unless you don't want to keep the truck. And then drive it, because you're only going to get like a couple 100 miles, because you got water in your oil, and you're going to be walking. So anyway, there's a spot, and I'll show you all this later on, because I'm going to do the repair when I get home. It's another reason I got to get home. I'm going to repair my leak. So there's 3 different locations that I know of, or 4 that I know of for sure right off the bat where they can leak, like when you get it from the factory brand new. There's other places that'll pop up eventually with normal wear and tear. This one is on one of my APU hoses, and I would like to thank whoever it was that said, somebody on Facebook, that it's your APU leaking, because that's the one place I didn't think to look. You know, there's 2 hoses up on the firewall up here that go into like a brass fitting looking location, that the fittings, the couplings, or whatever they are on there, they have a tendency to leak fresh from the factory. There's a hose coming at the bottom of your reservoir that might not always be hooked up properly. There is a plastic radiator inside your engine compartment. Yeah, it's plastic, guys. It might not be 100% plastic, but it is. They do that in a lot of cars now too. I've had car radiators go bad like that. You know, I've been watching it, and I had to get 2 more jugs of antifreeze. I haven't gone through the 3rd one yet, but over like 8 weeks, it's not bad. So my APU, I got to put a new clamp on there, and I got my 4 camera system coming, or is it 3 camera system? I ordered the something L-Link camera from Amazon. I think it's L-Link. Anyway, and I'll put a review of that on there, and I'll show you how I installed it too. That's coming this weekend as well. That's another reason I got to get it home. There's going to be 1 left mirror and right mirror mount, and then there's going to be the center dash cam. And if I got a 4th camera, I'm not sure where I'm going to put it yet. I might just put it like on the license plate rack in the back, you know, just so I can see random things. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet, so I'm not quite sure where it's going to be advantageous to put. Yeah, so I'll tell you. Let me get my numbers. All right, it's getting warmed up here and opening up. So I also just sent off for the TCS fuel card, and I was able to get a hold of somebody today. I tried yesterday, Labor Day being a holiday, nobody was there, so you know how that goes. Nobody wants to work on a holiday, and they all want to get drunk or whatever they do. So what I got here for this past week 30. I was off on my week, so when I punched all this stuff in the format on the spreadsheet, it actually showed me that I was off by a week. I thought I had it right because the way I was calculating it was, I was getting paid here, so it was going to go there, but it doesn't quite work out right. So we're looking at, right now, this is week 35. Well, last week was week 35. Monday ended on September 2nd. Labor Day was week 35. Week 36 starts Tuesday, which is today. Total revenue was not bad. I mean, it was $29.54.72, which that's not too shabby, but it's not good. And the mileage was 2,543 miles. So if you do the math, yeah, it's only $1.16 a mile. There are some weeks that are literally gonna suck. I'd like to say this is one of them, but I don't know. I'd like to say I didn't try, but I really don't know. I don't know if I was all there or not. But I'm only about 500 below the last 2 weeks, and I was averaging $1.42 a mile those weeks. So I'm thinking I just couldn't find any good trips is what my problem was. I don't know, because this week coming up on the 4 days, the revenue, as long as nothing cancels now, although it did cancel on me last week, as long as nothing cancels on me this week, I had, go back, man, what are you doing? Stupid. I hit a button when I did that. I went all the way home. So, my revenue this week is going to be $25.45.73, and if you think about it, that's 4 days of work, right? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. 4 days of work, that's over $800 a day. 800 and then 145 divided by 4 is 30, almost $837 a day, $836 a day, which is well over what I commit myself to. I'm going to go down a rabbit trail I don't need to be going down. Watching people walk by and drive by. So, I like this spreadsheet. I mean, you can put everything in here. My fixed expenses are about $1120.07 a week, and my variables are varied every week. So, the TCS card might have larger discounts in some locations, so my fuel is down to 35 cents a mile average. So usually that's what I'll do is, like I said before, is I'll run the fuel at a 35 cent per mile average once I know how many miles I'm running, so I can see how much I'm actually going to make off the trip. So once you get your daily goal BF before fuel, then you know what you really need to get for the fuel. And just, 100 miles, 35 cents a mile is $35. So for every 100 miles that you're going, that's if you have that kind of fuel mileage. If you don't, you want to raise it up. Like when I first started doing this, I was running it at 38 cents a mile because that's what I was getting in the 2019 they gave me with a 5 cent discount off the pump showing for the Schneider company card. So start there if you're just doing this. Start at the 38 cents a mile and go from there. And that way, if you're getting 35 cents a mile, you're actually going to have more in your pocket than you realized you were going to have. That might be another issue I'm running into because I've actually cut my costs to where I want them at, and now I'm trying to run slim, kind of, if you want to put it that way. But this thing actually tells you what your profit per day and average daily revenue is, and profit per mile. I like this spreadsheet, and it gives you a bar graph. It tells you little things like, let me see here if I can pull it up. It'll tell you your, oh come on. have an operating revenue. If you get below a certain percentage, you're not going to yeah, I'll answer the phone in a minute. You don't want to go below a certain percentage. Like you take your, I think I said that last time. I don't remember what it was though. I'll bring that up later on, like next time around. But the graph on here, it'll show you your weekly income, your weekly expenses, and so on. And then if you go to the, I want to put one of these up and show y'all. Monthly expenses. And you can't really tell right now because I haven't even finished the whole quarter yet. And it's not going to show me because I can give you 1 month, and if you take that 1 month, if it stays the same at about 15.5 per month, that's 150, and then 30 is 180. I think I added it up yesterday. It was like 188 a year in revenue to the business, and then you got to take out truck payments and all this other stuff. But that's on par almost with some of the guys that have been here for a while and are making halfway decent. You know, it ain't the best in the world, but you know, it definitely ain't the worst, and it's a lot better than company. You got a lot more freedom. Trucking is quite an adventure, so you know, if you ain't been here, just remember once you start buying your vehicle, if you're not buying it and you're leasing, if you're leasing it and not buying it from a dealer because you had a nice down payment, you're gonna have to live in your truck for a little while because it's going to eat into your pocket big time. Yeah, it's a crappy revenue last week. I'm not too worried about it. It's only 1 week that's dragging me down. Admittedly, next week I'm not making the total amount of revenue I need to make. I mean, I'm making enough to get by, but I'm not going to make the amount that has to go into the business for me to make the investments that we need to be making. So, because part of that is going to be, I mean, I need to hump it because we're trying to get a place put on our property. So, and I know that's probably going to be complicated, even though I'm going to have all the paperwork I need. I haven't been doing this long enough. I'm worried that I'm not going to get approved, but I'm not really too worried. I mean, if we do, we do. If we don't, we don't. If we don't, I'm just going to fix the place up I'm in and save up an even heftier deposit. If we do get it, that'll be awesome too, because, you know, then we'll have a nice house to have all the church ladies over at, and my wife will be able to do her commitment that she's been convicted of for church. So I was hoping I could do some like donation runs and stuff, but because the way Schneider runs, it's technically not my truck. I'm just renting it under their name, so I can't really do anything. I still got to get with somebody about that, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to do some charity work running this truck. I mean, I can do like 1 day out of the year, run a trailer full of donations somewhere. You know, I think that would be cool to do that. I wouldn't mind doing that at all. I want to give back to the community, give back to the people that have given to me, and put up with my nonsense for 40 some odd years. I was not a good person. But, so, that's about it, man. Told you about the leak. Haven't really had any other issues to speak of that I can think of. I got 2 more loads to get me home. Going to take me 1,100 total miles. it's funny that, you know, it's 26, 25, 60 on 4 runs, man. Not bad, or 3 runs. 4 runs. Tuesday, today. Yeah, I had a short one today that I ran like 200 and some odd miles to get here. And through Virginia. Place I said I was going to quit going, and I'm back. I got to quit coming to Virginia, I really do. There's no place to park in Roanoke whatsoever. I mean, Williamsburg, Roanoke area, it's rough, guys. I mean, there is, but it's minimal, and it's not really. I was trying to keep a certain distance because, you know, I got my time on a limited basis because I'm running off of recaps, and I've only got 6 one day and 6.5 the next day before it pops back up to 10. So if I had more time, I wouldn't have had a problem. I would have went to someplace, is it Jack's, Charlie's, whatever it is, on the other side of where I was picking up at, where I'm going to be picking up at tomorrow. I would have went down there instead, but, you know, I came here, and I don't mind because they're going to be grilling out. There's a lady in there, it's for the Children's Charity Network, and there's a lady in there that was selling pieces of cake and stuff for $1 for the charity, and it's all going to the charity. So I had to buy me 2 pieces of cake. I love me some good cake. And it wasn't bad. It wasn't my wife's frosting. That lady can bake, but the cake was very moist. The frosting was okay. It wasn't the way my wife makes it, buttercream frosting. So I don't even know if that was homemade, but still, it was some decent stuff. I ain't complaining. I enjoyed it. I didn't eat the other piece of cake yet. I might save that for after my grill burger or whatever the heck they got up there. Because I don't want no Arby's. I'm tired of this stuff, man. I want to go home and eat some Carrabba's or something, you know? Get me some real calamari. Anyway, that's about all I've got. I was going to address, because I went to a gravel lot again. I don't know if I've addressed it before, but check your drive tires. Your steers won't catch them as bad, but your drive tires will collect gravel in between the grooves. Yes. And that stuff will eat your tires big time. I mean, if you leave them in there long enough, you can have an out-of-service tire from rocks in your tires because you neglected to get them out. But hey, you know, nothing else. I'm sure there was something else, but you know. You guys, I'll talk to y'all later on. I will be looking for that. Y'all be looking for that video on the APU repair and the camera install. I don't know if I'm going to film the whole. I probably won't film the whole install because that's going to be kind of hard for me to do by myself. But I will let you know how I wired it and stuff. You know, I don't like a lot of wires. I do have some here now because of all these stupid electronic devices, and I tucked them away as best I could and strapped them up. But yeah, I'm gonna rip this sucker apart, put these cameras in. A few more days. I can't wait. I'm just hoping it doesn't take me till Monday because there should be some good freight rolling out come Monday since everybody's shut down and evacuated. I'm hoping it'll be moving again and I'll be going straight to Texas or Ohio or somewhere Midwest without having to stop and without having to try and catch up, because usually coming out of there and going west you got freight that doesn't add up to where you want it to be at. So I'll take a small $15, $20 to run halfway there and drop it, and then grab a much larger load for more than $1.70 or more to get me further into the west. Because running all the way, that's another thing. If you do this, you got to look at if you're running all the way. Yeah, that $1,000 or $1,500 load looks good taking you all the way west, but you're only making $1.15, $1.20 a mile. So you got to consider, if you're doing that, that's not the smart thing to do. yeah, you can do it, but you're only going to make about 20 cents a mile, maybe, if that, because, you know, our rates don't add up properly, and you're losing almost 10 to 20 cents per mile off of the rate that it shows on there because of the household movers group mileage. But so don't take the super long ones to get you somewhere unless there's absolutely nothing that's gonna pop you in the middle. And I don't know, I would personally, I don't do that because, you know, it doesn't help. It does, it gets you halfway there. I'll get me halfway there, but I'm not going all the way like that. I've looked at a couple of them and they were like, my mouth was watering at the big revenue number, but then I just did a hypothetical run. When you do this, you go down a lot of different rabbit trails chasing different routes, because you'll string a load together, 3 or 4 loads, and then you'll string another 3 or 4 loads, and that's what you got to do coming out of the house from Savannah, is you got to string. I can only string a few together from there because, I mean, where I'm at is in the middle of nowhere, and I have to drive an hour just to get an empty trailer, and I haven't been able to find one that's going to roll me over and allow me to keep the trailer. It's about that time of the season where Walmart hoards trailers as well as other people, so keep that in mind, guys. Trailer hoarding. And I got to get some wire cutters. I got to get some tools with me. I got to get a few things at the house anyway, so. But hey, that's my week. Not the best, but not the worst. I still made a profit. I made less than a company driver, but I didn't make less than a company driver because, you know, some of these company drivers are just sitting around, so at least I was moving. The bad part is I was putting wear and tear on my truck. That's another thing to consider. You're taking that $1.19 a mile load, you're losing 1 or 2 cents a mile in revenue alone just on engine wear and tear, at least. So, lots of things to consider in this business. And, I don't know. Need to do something like put $40,000 down in a spreadsheet over a 3-year period or 4-year period, because that'll be like a motor and some other major stuff, right? So I know you got an MMA account, but just for example, wear and tear stuff, put that down and see how many miles, how much you need per week to take up for that, and then you'll know, say, this is my wear and tear fund. But I've been putting a little bit extra back now. I've been putting my taxes back, and then I throw a little bit more in that account because, you know, they want you to put money in, and I know I keep going down different rabbit trails, but they want you to put money in, well, they don't want you, but they offered, say, hey, take an extra $100 a week out for your, you can call it a slush fund, whatever you want to call it. I don't remember what they call it, but, you know, for your Thanksgiving or Christmas fund, put an extra $100 a week off to the side. But you got to consider, you give them that money and they're making revenue off of your money because, you know, they keep it in a bank account. They're making interest off of that. Put it in your own bank account. I mean, heck, take that $100 and put it in something that you'll get an interest. Like, I got a credit union and they give me it's a real small percentage, but I got a percentage of money for every dollar that I put in that savings account. Admittedly, I only used to have like $300 in there, and I would get 5 cents, I think. I don't even know. 15 cents? I don't know. But now I'm actually getting dollars because, you know, I have more than $300 in my savings account because I keep putting money in. But use it for yourself. Don't, unless you know you're one of those people that can't not touch your money, and then, hey, put it over there because, you know, you're gonna spend it. But I'm a stingy guy. I'm not touching my money unless I absolutely have to. I've comes from being broke for so long and fixing everything in your house with what you got. I'm Mr. Fix-It stingy, and it's worked for me. But, you know, Colonel Sanders and all them, they didn't get rich by blowing their money. Every little bit they invested, everything they could. So, which is exactly what I'm going to be working on. So, once the house comes, or if the house doesn't come, I'm going to be dropping some. I don't know if I'm going to use the stock market, but yeah, I'll be dropping some in other businesses. All right, so I don't know. That's it for me. Y'all keep the left door closed and keep the hammer down.